Before we start, why the grind? Why behind the grind, the name?
Because it's something that doesn't really get seen. You often see these like fancy motivational videos and stories on YouTube and stuff, but you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the grind is a beautiful thing then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not like ragda, but in the poetic sense, it's a ragda.
And it's all English?
You can mix it up.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna clap first, and then that's the cue to start. All right, 3, 2. What's going on, everybody? It's me, Farhad Karamally, back again with another episode of Behind the Grind, and this time we have a very special guest with us, not with Ad, Mr. Farhad Karamally. Farhad, how are you today?
Brilliant.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to be here. It's different.
It's different. It's live. It's in person now. No more Zoom podcast or conversation.
I genuinely joke that as soon as things become relatively normal, I want to throw away my laptop. I don't want to look at laptops. I don't want to keep looking at that little screen and animate myself in front of the green dot.
But during the lockdown, were you the guy that had like tons of monitors around, or you were still working on that 13-inch, 14-inch?
I experimented.
Yeah.
I did a lot of things to create that joy and excitement. Eventually, what I concluded is, okay, I need to have a screen and I need to animate in front of the green dot. Because no matter how useful you're speaking of things, people just don't connect. Till you animate the whole thing, you go back and you say, yes, I can see you. And although you can't see anybody, and you say, hang on, you need to put your mobile down.
Yeah.
Weird.
But yeah, fingers crossed we are getting back to the normal. If not, it's a new normal, or if it's what normal it is, but it's getting off back online. But yeah, so how about you actually introduce yourself? Because I've seen your work for a long time. I've seen what you do. I know the areas, but I don't want to misquote anything. So how about you take a jab at your own introduction?
Oh, okay, that's a tough one. Because it's pretty complicated, all the way from my education to where I am today.
Yeah.
It's a low.
You could go straight into what you're doing professionally.
I'll tell you what I do professionally. I find solutions.
Lovely.
I think in one word, that's what I do. I come up with solutions and I solve problems. This can be individual, this can be corporate, this can be personal life. You know, it could be anything. You could throw a problem at me and you let me, I'll try coming up with a solution. For example, if there's something over here, I need to come up with a solution.
Sweet. All right. So,
and I think it's this curiosity that helps me even when I'm working in my job.
All right. But because you brought up the past life education as well, when did you realize that that's something that you're very good at? Was it just like a natural
I think I've
occurrence?
always been very good at living, enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Now, right in the beginning, I told you, people are very upset because there's nothing philosophical about it. But, I don't have any of these callings in life and moments that change it. I've just been enjoying life, so I'll always do things that I enjoy. So I'll come up with solutions that excite me.
Yeah.
I get bored very easily.
Okay.
How did I start my consulting and training career? Very simply, it's like you flirt with someone and you fall in love. That's exactly what happened. I was flirting with it over weekends, started enjoying it, then the flirtations became a little bit more. Then I started getting paid for it. I said, this is cool stuff.
Yeah.
So this love is paying me off. So that's why. And in fact, a lot of people asked me, they said, will you do this for the rest of your life? I said, no.
Yeah.
They said, for how long? I said, I don't know. As long as I enjoy it. You see, the purpose in life was not a career was never a purpose in life.
Yeah.
I think it's living life which is critical. So I live life. I enjoy. I'll experiment. I'll do things.
Cool. So, but when you were doing these weekend flings, what were you doing on the weekdays?
Weekdays, okay. Weekdays, I was trying to work someplace and doing different things. You know, I've been in a bank, a textile company. I've also done, putting up dish antennas. I was helping a friend set up a dish antenna business. So, climbing the roof and adjusting this huge 12 feet dish antenna and LNB settings and all that. I've been doing a lot of weird things, yes. As I said, as long as I enjoy.
Awesome. Cool. So now that the flirting's over and it's a ride of a lifetime.
Yes.
What's a normal day in your life like?
A normal day in my life is determined by my calendar. So it depends what my calendar could say. It starts off generally very early. It could start off at 8 o'clock. It could start off at 6:30. And then it depends. I mean, if it's a meetings day, then I'm in the office by 9:30. Then I'm doing meetings. Then I have calls and do office management and stuff. And if it is late and if it's a training assignment, so then it's up in the morning at 7:30 at the venue at 8 o'clock, starting off with a black coffee and music, and then the whole day goes on 6 o'clock, and then there are calls, and then there are emails, goes on till about 10-ish, 9:30, 10, on an average 9:30, 10 in between if I have things to do. So that comes in. I do watch TV every day.
Okay.
There's hardly a movie that I have missed, especially Bollywood.
Lovely.
But I am surprised that people say time nahi milta. I don't have
I
time.
never
I
took
don't
you to
have
be a
time.
Bollywood guy. वैसे, wow,
Sorry?
cool. I never took you to be a Bollywood guy.
I love Bollywood.
Awesome. Cool. No, but you make the time at the end of the day, I guess. Right?
Again, I think same thing. If my desire to enjoy life,
Yeah.
movies are an important part of it. I want to enjoy. So if I have to enjoy, I have to watch.
Yeah.
Something very exciting I just finished. I don't know. You've seen Manifest on Netflix?
No.
Okay, so I just finished that.
I'm that guy
Not
that
finished
says
the
कि
fourth
time नहीं
episode.
मिलता है.
Yeah, अच्छा time.
I'm the guy that says time नहीं मिलता है.
यार नहीं मेरे लिए time निकालना हर चीज के लिए time निकालना जरूरी है.
Lovely.
And but the good thing it's not okay. One thing that if my wife sees is हाँ exercise के लिए time नहीं निकालता.
उसके लिए मैं तो that's for me that's higher up on the Netflix list. But so I went through your LinkedIn, and I've been seeing everything that you do, and the title that comes up is Organizational Development Consultant.
Right.
What does that mean, and how does this work?
Okay, when you're looking at organizational development consultant, let's just understand when I say I like understanding problems and then coming up with solutions. Most of the solutions are people based. Now that came from my education background. So for example, I was doing finance. So I did my O-level accounting, A-level accounting, then I joined Chartered Institute of Management Accounting. So it was always accounts. And then my aspiration at one point in time was to be an internal auditor. Because internal auditors travel from one place to the other, they understand systems. So I had a few friends who were internal auditors. They would fly in globally or travel internationally, and they would find out what the process are. So I said, this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time, as I got into it, I realized people don't like internal auditors that much.
Yeah.
So even the friendship is sometimes just a facade that they're creating.
Yeah.
You keep this guy busy so we can fix this thing. So let's say if you're going out on an international assignment, and then you have this person, let's go for dinner, let's go for this, and you think they're your friends, but they're actually keeping you away from work.
Yeah.
So
it's just like a glorified vacation.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
But yet people don't like you. Internal auditor is here. So then I joined, and even at that time, people used to address internal auditors as the policemen. They're policing you.
Yeah.
One word very inappropriate was, they're like watchdogs.
Yeah.
Now imagine a face like this. How can this be a watchdog face? So I said, no, this is not it for me. Then I joined Chartered Institute of Marketing. I realized, marketing is much more cooler. So
Chartered Institute of Marketing.
Yeah. So then I got myself qualified in marketing as well. I got a diploma in marketing. I thought this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I got an advanced certificate in marketing. So I think this is pretty interesting that, people and colors and connecting and sales and everything, all of that interested me. And then I realized it's not so much about the function in the career, so to speak, the discipline specifically. It is actually people. If you understand people, you understand a whole lot more. And that is when my interest in organization started.
Okay.
Now you're looking at organization, every organization needs to grow. They need to make the revenues coming in. They need to make sure that people are satisfied, people are engaged, people are delivering results, people are working as a team, people are demonstrating leadership skills, they know how to talk with each other, so all the soft skills that you could imagine. And that's what the organization development consultant would do. Come in, understand the organization, identify what are the things which are amiss, advise on that and move forward. So for example, we've all heard Peter Drucker say, your culture eats strategy for breakfast every morning. Now it's eating it all the time. But when they say your culture eats strategy, so what is this culture? Culture is actually how people engage, how they talk. So as an organization development consultant, I go into the company, understand the challenges, how best can they achieve their results, because that's the purpose of the organization, and advise them accordingly. And as a consultant, I advise them. As a trainer, I handhold them to make it possible as well. So I'll be sitting with the leadership team, understanding, okay, now what do you guys need to do? What is a miss? How do you identify the culture code for yourself? Are you bringing your values into practice? Is there role modeling? What are the people missing out on? Go and meet the people, find out where the gap is. And then also do these high energy, exciting training programs to bring people on board. So at one point, you're speaking very serious stuff. You're trying to understand where the challenge lies. And then you're using engaging exercises to communicate and bring everybody up on one board.
Okay. So that's kind of interesting to hear, because that's leading up into the next question, which is all around the culture itself. Like you said, you will identify what the culture code is, how is the operations working, how is this chain of command flowing, where I'm sure you also identify where the tussle comes about or where the synergy is lacking, right? So if this word culture is spoken about so much, and for me also, like, it's very important in my own organization as well, but what is it exactly? How do you identify culture itself?
Okay, there are a lot of people who've written about it, spoken about it. This is not my thought, and I can't recall for the life of me who this person is I'm quoting, but it's definitely not mine. It's basically the shared assumptions that people have.
Okay.
So whatever assumptions you create about this place is basically what your deep-rooted culture,
So if the collective is speaking the same language about
or whatever they're speaking of. So for example, in an organization where they say there's a lot of leg pulling, you can't have only one person doing the leg pulling. So there has to be a group of people at different places doing leg pulling. I do the work, somebody else takes the credit. That's an assumption. My boss doesn't like me. I say that's an assumption in my mind. I speak to this person, he says, you know what, you're right, even my boss doesn't like me. And he'll say, you know what, she says, my boss even doesn't like me. So suddenly it's like, you know what, in this company, bosses are biased. Then they start labeling those assumptions. So whatever the collective assumption is, for example, the other day on this roundabout, a very educated lady was going the other way around on this Dhotalwar. Yeah, they were going the other way around. And I was right in front, so she was going the wrong way, and I came in, and she went across, and it was from a educated political party.
Yeah.
I could see that, this lady had those stickers of that political party and the hero. So, you could understand, not a politician, but had affiliation, educated and going the other way around. And I got hold of the traffic police. After the traffic made way for me, he said, you go. I said, no, first catch her. I want you to fine her for going late. Then now it's like I'm standing in the corner and then I'm making sure he comes in, sir, aap jaye. We'll fine her. I said, no. You fine her first. Then the other guy comes to me. He says, she's saying this, ye bhi koi sharafat hai. I said, what do you mean sharafat hai? You saw what she did, you fine her. Why are you letting her off? For what reason?
Yeah.
An assumption. So while the artifacts are that, we should not break the law, but somewhere deep rooted in the mind is that, so what if I went the other way around? There are a lot of assumptions people carry everywhere. That's why culture is not only organizational. Everywhere, the assumptions that we have, and when it multiplies, it becomes a culture.
And how do you identify that in an organization? Like, what are these particular steps that you take?
There are a lot of things that one can do. To start off with, I really enjoy reading that document called the Employee Engagement Survey. It's a good document. If you start reading, you say, okay, what are people feeling? What do they think? Then it's not sufficient. You also go and do a one-on-one with people, one-on-one. So let's just say I'm doing a one-on-one with yourself, and you tell me this is what the problems are, this is what is great about our company, this is what we love doing, this is what is exciting, and these are what the challenges are. I say, fine, I'll go meet a couple of people. Now I'm trying to connect the dots. At the same time, then probably I'll call you in for a focus group later on. Now I want to see you interact with other people as well. So let's say we don't work as a team and we hide information, but here we are doing a focus group and you're the most quiet one. So there's a lot of reading between the lines. So there is assessment questionnaires, there is employee engagements that people do, there are focus groups, so a couple of things that you need to do so that you could really zero in and say, you know what, this is the assumptions that people are making. You go back to the leadership team and you say, you know what, these are the assumptions your people are making. What do you want to do about it? Now, either live with those assumptions, but then be vocal about it. Your assumptions are right. We are a biased organization. No problem. Because that's what you choose to be. But you need to be clear what you are. So I think if I break it down into steps, 3 things. People need to be aware, and that's what even I need to do. So to have some awareness of what is happening, clarify it in words, and then decide what you want to do.
Okay.
That's a ACD.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, so is this normally a concern in like the lack of a good culture or like a problematic culture? Is that mostly something that pops up in locally in organizations, or in your experience have you seen that also internationally as well?
Everywhere. Wherever you have people, you have assumptions.
Okay.
Some places there are a lot of assumptions, some places there are fewer assumptions. But these assumptions could be different places. The more active the CEO is me with the reality of the organization is, the more smoother it becomes.
Okay.
The challenge is when you think it's just an HR initiative and you dump it onto HR and they'll do whatever they feel. I'll give you an example. There was a client who gave me recently a call. I'm not to tell the industry.
Yeah.
And I'll be very careful with my words as well. So I spoke with this client and I had a 40-minute call. We have this problem, this problem, this problem. This is where we are going. This is where we are coming from. Last 2 years, this is what has happened. This is the rate of employee turnover. Give me a complete background. And then I said, okay, based on what you said, my suggestion is step 1, step 2, step 3. Said, let me know. So he said, fine, let me route it through HR because it has to come through HR. I said, fine. I get a call from HR after 3 days. Farhad, we need a proposal. And what do you need the proposal on? You just give me some background because technically in my mind, I've already told the guy. He said, we want to do a 90-minute motivational session. And what's the objective? Because I now know what the objective was. Same on you. Oh, you know the same stuff. We just want them. We want to do something engaging. So I said, so technically,
this is HR saying
this is HR telling me we want to
okay.
do something engaging and motivational.
Okay.
I said, I don't think I understand. But what are you actually looking for? So we went back and forth and then negotiations, and I stayed away from that. Unfortunately, I didn't get that.
Say it.
Because obviously, I mean, you have some person telling me exactly what the problem is, and then the other person thinks we just want to do something engaging.
Yeah.
So if you tell me, if somebody says I need something engaging, my entire roadmap goes into the dustbin because that person will not understand.
So the way you're breaking this down, it's coming across, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like the organization comes to you, they identify some core insufficiencies or some problems within the organization as a whole. Like या तो लोग बात नहीं कर रहे, या फिर bottom line पे फर्क आ रहा है, या फिर procurement के मसले आ रहे हैं, या फिर वो message overall जो narrative है company का that's not going out. You take everyone together, but you sit with them collectively, individually, and it's a tango.
Yes.
But for a couple of months.
3 months as a minimum is a good process.
And could you share some success stories that you've seen? Because I'm also trying to see that like there's many of these organizations that pop up and say, "Kya, please ek session kar le 90 minute ka," and the dime a dozen. And it seems like I'm speaking from very little experience about this. It seems that the HR departments over here don't really focus on learning and development or people cohesion and getting the culture to thrive and be embodied by everyone. It's just, for the lack of a better word, khana puri in some way.
That's a lot of questions and a lot of assumptions in this also.
Yeah, I know. So like, I'm trying to get like demystified right now.
Names.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take client names.
Yeah, but a success story, like if you see there's a problem, this was what was identified.
God's been very kind. I can't recall a failed exercise.
Wow. Okay.
And that is why I'm very selective as well. So I'm not going to just go in and take the assignment.
Yeah.
And if I do, I will tell them this is what will happen. So I'll keep the expectations accordingly. But let's just say, what is failure? I commit to something, I don't deliver. So if I've committed a 90-minute high energy excitement, I'll give it that to you. Then I haven't really failed. Your intervention may not have given value because you never played tango with me. For example, one client, I looked at the employee engagement, me and my team, we sat together, we went through the employee engagement. That's generally the first step. We could zero in terms of what the problem was. We made a roadmap for them, and we said these are the steps you need to follow. Step 1, step 2, step 3, come back, do this. And we went through the first session, we onboarded everybody, we communicated what the employee engagement scores are. The fact that employee engagement scores is not the responsibility only of HR, it is every line manager who is responsible for his own people. And we went through the entire shebang. Part 2 was we were supposed to follow through on this, and after 2 months, we started calling these guys up and we didn't get a reply. Then we started getting used training program with this person, and all the motivational speakers got involved. The person and I had assured the client that after 6 to 9 months, depending on how well we execute, let's do a small employee engagement again before the official one. Let's do a sample one. Let's see if there has been a change. Because I'm committing to you for the change. And when I commit to the people for the change, I'm not going to keep on adding my fees continuously. So we've locked in the figure. I've committed for this deliverable. Almost a year, the person reaches out to me. Hi, Farhad, how are you? And the employee, last time we started off, we really didn't go well, but I just seeing what to do. I said, first, let's be very clear. It did not go well, not because of me. It is because you did not
Take the initiative.
take the initiative. It's like you go to a doctor, the doctor gives you medicine, you don't take the medicine. How can you blame it down on the consultant? So again, I think there's a lot of conviction in what I say specifically is, and there are lots of, the fact that I'm so busy also proves how amazing some organizations are, how brilliant some of my clients are. They walk the entire 9 yards with me. Do we agree on everything from day one? No. Is there a lot of back and forth? Yes. Is there a lot of discussions, in brackets, arguments? Yes. But again, you see, the intent is not satisfying me or to satisfy the other person. It is for the end goal that we're all working for. I think those interventions are beautiful. So yes, I think when the clients commit, looking at it beyond just the checklist item, which most of them do, it is a lot of fun. I'll give you one more example. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Actually, one more example. Okay. Went to this particular insurance company some years back. They wanted to get sales training done. That's fine. We discussed. It was a nice 1 hour meeting and we went through the whole process. Just to give you an idea, what we did is we almost created a profit center out of a sales training program.
Wow.
Okay. Now, how did you do that? We said, okay, you want to get training done, how best to do it. So cutting the long story short, they create an academy of insurance training for themselves.
And
which
for
after 2 years, you then start engaging people from outside from the industry if you want to learn, because there is no academy as such. So you teach people how to do insurance selling, which is perhaps a very, very difficult thing to do. So it's like telling somebody, you die and we'll pay your family afterwards. But as long as you're alive, you pay us. Or for that matter, you know what? You keep on paying, even if your car doesn't meet with an accident, never mind, you keep on paying us. And the day it does, then you and I both know what a hassle it is to get those payments out from them. But I think selling insurance is tough. So we said 2 years down the line, you create an academy, everybody comes to you. You have your pulse on the talent in the market. So technically, even if from another company they come to you, if it's talent, you can offer them. You know, you see talent. You also know where your people are versus the others. Give a complete plan. The guy says, okay, let me get back to you because we also need to get 2 more proposals. So 3 proposal requirement from procurement. That's another joke, but I come to that separate. But I said, listen, I'll tell you what. If another consultant is giving you the entire roadmap end to end, you compare, I will be okay with 3. You give to the one that deserves it. But 2 things. A, do not give my roadmap to the other person, because this roadmap is an outcome of your and mine, 90 minutes, almost 2 hours that we've discussed over here. So you're not giving away my thing. But I think just be fair. Don't worry, I said yes, because that's also what some of them do. I said B, if they're going to give you a 2-day sales training that you want, obviously their figures and my figures will be very different. I'm giving you a 6-month process. You will get a 2-day training. So obviously, if I can recommend a 6-day process for you, 2 days is really a no-brainer. I can wake up in the middle of the night, run it for you and go back home. So if you want to do the 2-day, I told them, I said, अगर आपने घूम फिर के पैसे ही जलाने ना, जेब मेरी भी खाली है. आपने वैसे ही देना है ना, किसी को दे देना, मैं कर लूँगा. So... Yeah.
So when you, with all of these...
Of course, my team gets very embarrassed when I say things like this.
But that's exactly what makes you stand out, right? I guess.
वो कहते हैं ना, आपके दबाव में break नहीं लगता.
And I think we need more of that, right? Like you have to kind of call a spade, and that's what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it just makes sense. So again, usually when you say successful assignment, now you can see it's a little difficult for me to zero in because if let's just put it this way, if I commit whatever I commit to, and that is why some clients also feel आप सवाल बहुत पूछते हैं. Yes, I will ask you questions because I need to understand. So the more information you give me,
the better the
I think
job
one of the most amazing products, and I think because it's been quite a while, I can quote this. I've worked with Mountain Dew when it was launched in Pakistan. Right. The Mountain Dew, Aquafina, Tarang. Allpers, I started working with Angro Food 6 months before they started operations. I worked with the marketing and the CEO and the vision and the values and everything. So Angro Foods, I did a lot of work for in the early years. I don't want to speak of the recent ones because the recent ones are still in the process. But historically, these are clients that I've actually worked with. And
with those people, like, because considering the success stories are jo bhi hai, but coming back into what you said, like there's a 3-month engagement that you work with.
Minimum.
Let's say कि 3 महीने बाद हो भी जाता है, you've done the job or everything is set in stone. But is there some kind of follow-up that then also comes from their side? Because I feel like you've enabled them, you've trained them, but then there also has to be like, hey, are you still on the right track kind of session?
I do that if they say, but then that's extra billing because now you're taking it
But
to the next
regardless
level.
of billing, right? Like, do people do like recognize that? Yeah, we need to go
Yes, I
back to
think they
Farhad
do.
because of this.
I think they do. Even right now, we're speaking to one client who just started off, was supposed to be a 2-day training program, ended up being almost a 3-month process with occasional training program, lots of meetings. I attend their morning meetings, I go out. Now they're actually planning for the year ahead, so now I'm planning it. And what if you think about it, I don't do any marketing. If you followed my social media, I hardly have any videos. I don't have videos. I don't record my things. I don't even place. I do personally don't put pictures of my sessions. The client puts it. It's up to them because I think it's too confidential. Imagine a doctor doing a surgery and say, I'm a doctor. I'm doing surgery on this person. This person is suffering
That
from
does
this disease.
happen though. That does happen on
Yeah.
Instagram.
So that's why I'm a consultant. I understand. So I'm a professional. So I'll not do that. So I don't go around posting pictures and this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm extremely busy. There are times when people say, आजकल बहुत फारिग होंगे ना आपके हम कुछ देख नहीं रहे. I said yes. If that's sort of, if you're putting things up on social media just to prove that I'm busy, yes, I am completely free. But the fact that I'm extremely busy, thankfully, I've got assignments all over the place. Can't wait for these travel restrictions to go away in March.
Yeah.
So I can go back to Sri Lanka, back to Dubai more frequently. It's basically repeat. So the clients keep coming back because they see the value. So let's say if I work with a client on the strategy and 3 years down the line, they call me for the strategy review. How far have we reached? So for example, one client we worked with, as a result of our strategy session, they launched, it's in the pesticide business, they launched 11 new products. And they did a 3-year review. In the 3-year review, 80% of the profits came from 10 of the 11 products that were launched. It was a complete business shift for them. Now, these are great success stories. Only tragedy being, as a consultant, can't go around saying, what I did with this client, this is what they launched. Unless it's something very public.
Yeah.
For example, this innovation lab that I did, I think that's very public with Philip Morris.
Yeah.
It's all over the social media. So I can talk about it.
Yeah. Cool. So I want to actually shift the conversation a little bit into what you've observed in terms of the talent pool. Like you're working with not just your own team, other people's teams. Are there some kind of skill gaps that you've identified over the years or that still exist? Because, and the reason I asked this also is because there's a lot of startup talk happening and there's a lot of Zoom webinars and so on happening around the talent gap and how we could be filling that up and other startups setting up to fill in that gap in some capacity. What are your thoughts on that?
What kind of reply do you want me to give you?
I
answered this once on TV once.
I want the truth.
And I got blasted by a lot of people. People like you. Do you think that when somebody asked me, where have all the jobs gone? And my response immediately to that was, where have all the talent gone? Damn, you can't imagine what people wrote to me. You people like you who take all the jobs and silver spoon and God knows what all. Where the hell does this come from? That is one reason I'm extremely careful on social media because people will not get any contact. If I say anything over here, what does this guy think of himself? But okay.
You can choose not to answer this also, by the way. I
think
it.
Okay, now I told you, my friends say, my colleagues say I don't have breaks in my mouth. If you fed this in, I have to say something. My only request with all the listeners is very peacefully, with a lot of politeness, with a lot of humility, I request them to reflect on what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I see severe talent gap.
Okay.
Do I get people that I would really aspire to have directly, let's say coming out of universities? I don't get what I want. I can get people internationally in my other teams, in Dubai, in other places. I could get people who are doing their bachelor's and they're very comfortable using Excel. They're making forms on Excel. They're doing research on Excel. They're doing a lot of these. They're working Survey Monkeys and everything. Here, even if I get a master's, I struggle there. I don't work on Excel. It's like I work on this, and how do I do this? And I need work-life balance. It's 7:35 right now.
Yeah.
Where is your work-life balance? You don't get an opportunity to see movies. So there are exceptions, but that's why I'm being a little careful. There are exceptions. I don't want to make a general comment.
No, of course.
But I still think there's a lot to do. There's lots to learn, lots to discover. one startup, quite some, about 4-5 years back. So we engaged a social media company to do our media, and we said, make animated doodly type videos and things. I was not getting and understanding that, because I said solutions and creativity, and I'm on a roll. So I could understand if the other person would not know what I want. I engaged them for 2 months. I said, I'm going to onboard you. Now, how many people do you think are going to onboard a social media company? Otherwise, just
Not
take
very
it,
many.
do it. I onboarded them with the color, with the font style, with the philosophy, with the logo. I took them, just like I would expect from my clients,
Yeah.
I took them end to end. This is what I want. Yeah, the videos were not coming in. And I got very frustrated one day. And I called them. I showed them a little video. I said, if I want to get this video done, how much time would it take? The guy looked at it, Farhad bhai, this would take at least 3 days. The rendering will take this time. And then that. And while he was talking, I was actually recording. But there's apparently an app that I downloaded. I can't recall the name right now. So I downloaded an app. And while he was speaking, I just very quickly recorded. And did this rendering. Okay, it was a small video. I think I recorded it for about 3 minutes. Rendering took about 2 minutes. I said, in less than 7 minutes, I have this video ready. And you're telling me it's going to take 3 days. 2 days for this and then rendering. And where is the talent? What perception do you want me? What assumptions am I supposed to carry about the talent over here? You tell somebody कि video बनानी है, so time लगेगा, इसमें फलाना हो जाएगा, इसमें ये हो जाएगा. यार, discover. You need to design a poster. You don't want to use Canva. I know I'm literally identifying brands as well. Canva is so cool.
Yeah.
But the minute you say, no, we have to adopt, we have to open. I mean, that's good stuff. I'm not denying. That's high-end stuff. Basic stuff everybody can do.
Yeah.
And if the expectation is basic stuff.
Like recognize where there's no barrier and leverage it is the point, I guess, that you're trying to make.
Yeah, just do it quickly. But, I think that's where the talent challenge is.
Yeah.
Then weekends, I don't want to work. How many hours do you work?
Anyone want to answer that question in the room? I don't take.
And are you a slave driver? They're sitting here with you.
That they have a choice. They don't have to be here.
Voluntarily. Why?
Answer why?
Yeah, you could answer.
We're breaking the fourth wall right now.
Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
क्यों बैठे हो? घर बार नहीं है? माँ बाप ये नहीं कहते कि हमारा बच्चा खा गया? That's also what I've heard. In fact, parents should be happy. You know what? They're in a nice, safe place, conducive environment. They're contributing. Imagine tomorrow you create a brand and you know what? I was part of the brand. Weekend छुट्टी चाहिए. We need to rest. अरे छुट्टी में कुछ ऐसा भी नहीं कि चलो कोई नया काम ही कर लो ना. Take छुट्टी, do something. Go create something. That also zilch. So talent is a real big gap, and that is why if you notice, we've got startups. We've got some brilliant startups.
Yeah.
How many compared to how many we hear about? How many startups we hear about? And so मजे की बात ये, there are startups where they actually fail is to take what I call the business up.
Could you repeat that? Sorry.
There are startups, but they don't know how to take the business up. So it's a great idea. For example, you got a great idea and you say, and I listened to the show in the morning, Salmeen Ansari's show in the morning, and I think day before yesterday, somebody was saying, again, same topic of, there are no opportunities for freelancers. There's a lot of opportunity for freelancers. How can you say there's no opportunity? Globally, there is. Our freelancers, you call them and you say, yaar, mujhe kuch, show me what you have. No, you tell me what you want, I'll design it and I'll charge you for that. So from day one, you want to charge me without showing me a sample. At least invest the time in creating a world-class sample. It's been 2.5 years. I can't get somebody to get me my company's app.
Really?
Yes, and I've paid over 200,000.
Wow.
Because I discovered this guy doesn't do it himself. Freelancer reaches out to another freelancer. Was very promising. Probably seeing it will get upset also, but it's a fact. I didn't take your name, right? भाई एक full stop लगाने के लिए वो लाहौर फोन करना पड़ेगा यार. I negotiate with you, and you know what? And very easy. I tell you, if I work with you, I'll say, Asad, use your creative. Give me the best. Give me something that you feel that other clients don't do, and you really want to experiment. Do it with my brand. Don't compromise on the basics like the color and the stuff, but do anything else you want. I mean, that's the license I give to my vendors.
But isn't that what every creative freelancer wants also? Like you're giving them the freedom, yet you've had this kind of experience. I'm kind of that. It's kind of saddening.
Yeah. Sometimes it's interesting. Sometime back, somebody said, "Muka fire." Hold on, I can change the world. I can do this, and I will create a system for you that will do this. And you're like, okay, good, do it. No, there was an internet issue, which could be a fact. Okay, I understand. There are a lot of
We live in
these days.
Pakistan,
There are a
yeah.
lot of cyclones and storms and tsunamis that the internets are down sometimes, and it has to go. Yeah, I almost gave it away. The internet connection bad, yeah, and then you hear stories from them at a different side. There's a lot of opportunity, and I think it's just not only the startup. Let's just think of it this way: people's desire to work. How many people do you see? And again, please do not take it personally. People who are listening, you may be a superstar. The world isn't. That's why people like me exist sometimes. Yeah, you help them out, right? If all the solution, what do you do? Okay, so yeah, my chain of thought.
Wow, sorry.
So for example, I think people don't want to work. You call a helpline up. You call helpline up. I have to control the Google. Okay, I can call a helpline up. Yeah, I have this problem. No, recently I called them up. Assalamualaikum ji, thank you for calling. बताइए. I said, मेरा ये मसला है, आप ज़रा देख लें. आपने कौन सा नंबर डायल किया था? ऐसे जो नंबर ऑप्शन दिया था वही डायल किया था मैंने. नहीं, आपने गलत डायल किया. आप फलाना डायल करके आप ये आपने गलत डायल. ऐसे देखें, मैंने डायल किया ना, अब आप एक तो कनेक्ट नहीं हो रहा था, हुआ है तो अब आप मेरा मसला हल कर ही दें. बिकॉज यू एंड आई एंड एवरीबडी नोज, ये जितना कहते हैं 16 डिजिट डालें, ये डालें, पहुंचता एक ही जगह पे. ऐसा नहीं कि 16 डिजिट के बाद आप मुझसे अलग सवाल करोगे, आप फिर से मुझे वही स्टूपिड सवाल करोगे जो पहले कर चुके हो. तो आई सेड यार लेट्स, तो आप मेरा मसला हल कर देना. नहीं, लेकिन आपने नंबर ही गलत डायल किया. आई सेड नाउ इफ यू सेइंग कि आई डायल द रॉन्ग नंबर, नाउ लेट मी टेल यू व्हाट आई डिड. आई डायल्ड फॉर इंग्लिश प्रेस 2. व्हाई डिड यू स्टार्ट ऑफ इन उर्दू विद मी? You speak with me in English? If I did something so dangerous and so inappropriate, you speak to me. Yes, what is the problem? Now you ask me, now I will tell you what the problem is. Please, let's start the entire conversation in English. चल ठीक है, मैं कर देती हूँ. बेटा जब कर देना था तो पहले से कर देती ना. मैं खामा खाम आप देखे ना मेरे को आपने ये चेंज करवाया. So I'm not rude, लेकिन look at the काम हो सकता था ना. You could have done it.
Yeah.
Solve the problem.
Yeah, I understand. I understand.
Happens to you as well?
We need to cut this clip and put this everywhere, okay?
यार वो मसला हल नहीं करते हो. जिसको देखो ये नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता. सुबह आप फोन करें, हमने you call these internet companies up, we have refreshed your system and the upgrade has come. Okay, update has come. 5 मिनट के वापस शुरू करें. You start again, still not working. What has happened? No, you please do this. Okay. Then आपके ऑफिस में 5 मैक कनेक्टेड हैं. बेटा पूरे ऑफिस के अंदर 5 मैक नहीं है. तो अब आप मुझे बताएं. नहीं, हमारे पास तो 5 आ रहा है. ऐसे मेरे पास तो नहीं है. You can't imagine sometimes, there are times I actually say, ऐसे देखो मैं देहाती हूँ, मुझे खाली टीवी ऑन करना आता है, बंद करना आता है, कि मुझे बताए हरा बटन दबाओ. मुझे नहीं पता, बंदा भेजो. I don't want to enter into conversation. आप ऑन करें, आप ऑफ करें, आप रीस्टार्ट करें. It's so embarrassing that to solve a problem, one client of mine, they're a client. They have issues, and I understand. Every business has challenges. I mean, this is what happens if the mic, okay, God forbid, no, but something happens with the mic right now. It happens. It's technology. But let's fix it. I'm very fix it, not the gutter wala fix it, but I'm a very solution oriented person, right? So मुझे fix करना है ना चीजों को. I have to call up Islamabad to the director sales, who calls up the director customer services to get my masla resolved off the internet. How sad could that be for a person who's sitting over here whose job is to solve my problem? My question back to you: where is the talent? What is talent?
I'm going to sidestep a little bit right now. Let's come on to NLP. So tell me a little bit about, because I think one of the first conversations that I had with you personally was around NLP. And so could you explain a little bit what it is and what does it mean to actually be like a certified practitioner of it itself?
Do you have an agenda to make sure people hate me?
No.
Because it's not a negative thing. I've just got, and you've probably seen, I have this thing called #flip thoughts. I just like reversing the whole thing over. And I think that's where the solution lies.
But that's exactly what I found so interesting. I wanted to call you on because of that.
Because of flip thoughts.
It's a different perspective, right? That we sometimes just either choose to ignore or really haven't thought about.
Yeah, okay. I think a little too much about it. But again, I've got nothing bad to say, but I just like to flip it over. So, there is a perspective which is a very valid perspective that everybody else will tell you. I just have, and the reason I say this is because I've had conversation with people who are also certified practitioners over here in the recent past. I've had great fun with them.
Mm-hmm.
Why, I'll let you know. We'll close with that. It's a good laughter as well.
Okay.
So why did I do, or what is NLP?
Yeah.
The word in itself explains neuro-linguistic programming.
Yeah.
Neuro as in neurons.
Yeah.
Linguistic as in language.
Speech, yeah.
Programming is how you
Connect
tune
to,
and you
yeah.
feed the data inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's NLP.
Mm-hmm.
Why did I do NLP? That was the second question?
Yeah.
Okay. There was a course happening long time back, way back in 1996. And that is my trainer, his name is Omar Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Umar used to do self-mastery through NLP. 4-day, one of the most brilliant experiences that I still recall.
Mm-hmm.
4 days of no slides, 80 people.
Mm-hmm.
And man, was that an experience. And I realized I learned how to communicate. So, I always want to enjoy life. Now I could consciously enjoy life, knowing what am I supposed to do, what language to use, how to speak, how much of windscreen to see in life and how much the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
So the example, I mean, it literally unleashed, using Tony Robbins' word, unleashed the giant within.
Yeah.
And I started getting more comfortable in my skin, and I could understand. And it basically boils down to 3 things. If you can program yourself on these 3 things, you pretty much got it right. It's you're looking at your physiology. सबसे पहले मैं कह रहा हूँ, I mean, just it doesn't have to be in this order, but your physiology.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how can you be excited, motivated, charged up in life if all the time you're just looking like this? If you notice, some people are so dead, even when they walk into the office in the morning, they have to drag their feet.
Yeah.
So where is the excitement? Where is this vibes of positive energy coming out from? So you need to get your physiology right. The alert, the excitement, the face. It's to be in the zone. I mean, I can never say, you know what, I am feeling really sick today. I'm upset with my life. It just doesn't show on my face. Similarly, I can't say, I'm very happy. Life is great.
Mm-hmm.
The two just don't match. So getting the physiology right. Then your selection of words, which is your phraseology.
Right.
Phraseology is basically your study of words. Every word has an impact. I still remember, and this in NLP is known as transformational vocabulary. So if you notice, if you ask somebody, how are you feeling today? The immediate response, fine, thank you. That's a programmed response. You don't think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Why not have words like brilliant, awesome, wonderful, excited, thrilled? Because words have an impact. And if you're looking at it in the context of, I don't know, do you follow Simon Sinek?
Yes.
Simon Sinek has this one video where he says how when you ask an athlete or a sportsman about the match next day, they will never say, I have high anxiety levels.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that video. Okay, so what he does is he says, and for whatever I can recall right now. So he says, the journalist would come up to you and say, are you anxious about the match, the game tomorrow, the match tomorrow? He said most of the smart sportsmen would reply, I'm excited about it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you say anxious, it takes you in a different zone.
Yeah.
When you say excited, it gives you a different kind of an energy. With everything that I'm saying to you right now, it's not only you and me who is listening. It's not only you who is listening. It's also me who is listening. So select words which are powerful. So that's where phraseology comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Use nice, motivating, emotionally charged words.
Mm-hmm.
And if it is a negative word, reduce the intensity. So for example, why hate something if you can just dislike it? I think that's a very appropriate example. I hate this. Hate nahi hai, it's just probably dislike. Reduce the intensity because hate is a different state of emotion altogether. So that's where phraseology comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the psychology.
Okay.
Everything is possible. I need to come up with a way. People say, oh, things are so bad. You ask yourself, what is bad? I woke up in the morning. Isn't that good enough?
Mm-hmm.
I had a great day. Isn't this good enough? Yeah. So what if I got stuck in traffic today? So what if there were X many incidences or the internet went down? You see how much I struggle with bad things in life, because according to research, for every one negative thing that happens to us, we have already had 7 positive things happened to us. But what we do is we fail to collect the 7 positives. We magnify the negative. Right. For example, something which is very close to our heart because we live same place, but you've probably noticed this. Garam pani nahi aa raha.
Yes.
I'll not say the apartment number, but the apartment road tabako aa jata hai. No hot water in this apartment.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so it's a fact. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
but there are probably 7 good things that have happened to you. But what happens is if you get stuck into that, if you don't
Yeah.
work on your psychology, entire day people will say, "How was your? So how are you?" Don't ask. अरे भाई, मेरे घर पे पानी नहीं आता. आज पानी नहीं है. And then you just depend, not that person, I'm just saying general, okay, so general comment. There's some people, conspiracy theorists, पानी इसलिए नहीं आता क्योंकि यहाँ पे सब चोर हैं. सब चोर से हुकूमत चोर है. हुकूमत क्यों चोर? अमेरिका को बेच दिया है. अमेरिका क्या? वो इजराइल. तो आपके घर पे गर्म पानी इसलिए नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि इजराइल का मसला. I'm just pulling a fast one now.
Yeah.
But you know, conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
But the entire day the tagline is गर्म पानी नहीं है. Does it come? Do you celebrate?
No, you don't.
You take it for granted.
Yeah.
I'll give you another example. You notice how when you get stuck in traffic light after traffic light or traffic light, and you say, damn, aaj hi another. Why me? Why me? You know, that's the question.
Yeah.
And entire day people, I got stuck in traffic lights, I got all the traffic lights. But interestingly, the day you get all the traffic lights open, at that time you don't curse fate with, you know what, I'm too cool. It is because the previous traffic light I left at the speed of 60. So I have to cross, or 80, and this is why I crossed this one. So if good things happen to us, it's because how cool I am. Bad things happen to me, fate.
Yeah.
Take responsibility two ways. Good
Yeah.
things also happen because you did good things. Similarly, bad things happen because things happen.
Yeah.
If you can't control, just forget it.
Yeah.
So, 3 things in NLP: phraseology, psychology,
And physiology.
physiology. Get those 3 things right.
Right.
Does it have an impact? Yes. And if you think about it, this is not so much even about a course. For me, NLP was never about a certification. Certification I got recently. But it's always been a way of life. So when I went through this program first time in 1996, 97, since then it has become a way of life for me. It gives you a lot of clarity. People think it's just pseudo-intellectual conversations, and there's really not. All con artists, knowingly or unknowingly, they don't get them certified, but they actually use a lot of NLP.
Yeah.
What do politicians do? Tell stories.
Yeah.
Tell stories, emotionally engage with us. They get us to think in a particular way. Isn't that NLP? What is NLP? They're programming the language that the people would understand. That's NLP. You've seen the movie Focus?
Yeah.
Will Smith?
Yeah.
55?
Yeah.
That was all NLP at its best.
Yeah.
Iske dimag mein dal do 55, 55, 55, 55. You could place a bet, you will think 55.
Yeah.
So the more you understand human psychology,
Yeah.
how humans think, the deeper you go down into NLP. And it's been a challenge. I've now moved on from, I wouldn't say moved on. I've also started practicing releasing as a technique. That's a relatively newer one.
Releasing.
Releasing is pretty cool. It's actually inviting the world to you. While the NLP would like to program everything,
Yeah.
releasing actually starts getting into your feelings and helps you release those feelings. So what are you feeling right now? Because according to, now this is where it flips over. Releasing says this little unit is nothing but a playback. You know, it has a very big ego. So what I mean by this is basically the brain, a neuro, and it has very big ego. It wants answers for everything. It likes to control things. Let go. Because you don't want to control everything every time. So now what I do, I use NLP just as much as I use releasing. It has added more joy in my life. So there are times I really want to consciously do things. There are times I want to release those things as well.
And do you feel that you are able to control that release also, or is it something that just has to be like khula chhoot? Because then it makes me think, if I'm seeing someone, then there's this judgment, unfortunately, which is all around like emotional maturity or a lack of emotional maturity. Okay, you can't keep something in, or that matlab phatna zaruri hai.
फटना जरूरी है ये किसने बोला?
I'm just like
Achha,
taking a scenario, like, you know, so if one was to release whatever they feel instantly at that time, all the time,
Yeah.
is there an element of it being healthy for the other person or for the people that they are around as well?
Okay, releasing does not mean throwing out your anger and tantrums. Okay, what releasing basically does is, I'll tell you what, it works with your feelings. Okay, so when you say releasing, we are releasing our feelings that we've associated. Interestingly, feelings is a myth. In reality, it doesn't really exist. And you could, anyone, if you want, you just Google up feelings, you will notice one of the definitions. It's not. It's a definition of choice I opted to have. There is no such thing. It's just a myth. Your feeling, but we have feelings. Feelings originate. It'll actually become a program, a coaching session on releasing. Okay, so if you want, you can cut it out.
Yeah.
वरना आप यहाँ पे काट सकते हो जहाँ तक मैंने बात की. अच्छा, releasing जो है is what you do is, it says your body speaks with you. So if you notice, for example, I practice every day releasing when I wake up. So it's just like And you could do releasing anywhere, anytime. The more expert you become, I could be releasing in the middle of traffic. I'm stuck in traffic, and what is this? And I say, hang on, Farhad. What are you thinking? There is, because all our feelings are inside. The feelings origination is an inch and a half below our navel. Interestingly, that's also where life begins from. Right. So when the life actually starts off, life starts from here, and then the life happens. And even when we die, this is the last point before it goes off. So what you do is, this is like the main hub. So for example, what I would do is in the morning, and I will say either when I'm taking shower, I've taken a shower, I'm going to say, okay, what are you feeling today? And this is a question that goes in. And it's like literally taking a torch in my entire body, and I'm seeing, okay, what is happening? You know, it's like looking for something. Is there any problem? Okay, so you're feeling happy, you're feeling pain, you're feeling this, or you're feeling agitated, you feel little discomfort. Okay, and then you invite, okay, why don't you come over? And it's like a self-talk. It happens within a minute and a half. It's not too long as a process. And you start collecting all those feelings way down into your feeling court, which is the hub. You invite them and don't resist. Because most of the time people resist. They resist, and when you resist, it fights even stronger. So you just invite them. Let's say if you're feeling angry, you say, okay, I'm feeling angry. Where is the anger? Okay, you suddenly, and chup chup ke बैठते हैं कभी घुटने के नीचे, कभी ankle के पास. You say, गुस्सा है, अच्छा चिड़े हुए, come up. It comes up. It goes all the way here. You say, thank you for being here. It was very nice of you for staying. What do you want? Okay? I want to let you off free. So just imagining that you open this window, and you're allowing these feelings, whatever form they've created in your mind, whatever visual you have, allowing them to go out. And when they go out, say, thank you for being here. You will not. You know, when people say you have to create, you need to open yourself up to the abundant opportunities that the world offers you.
Yeah.
When you open that window, you're opening yourself up to, let's see what the world has to give. You allow those good things to come in, and your body goes through a cleansing process technically. Now, for people who are all pseudo, but it happens and it works for me. And it's not easy. There's also a releasing retreat I went through for a 4-day releasing retreat. So it's really not easy. How some people say, how is this different from meditation? Meditation, sometimes, my understanding may be wrong. You have to be at peace of mind, silence, mountains. I could be releasing just sitting over here. Give me 30 seconds and I'll release all over that period. I just have to identify what am I feeling, where am I feeling.
Okay.
But the important question that the brain needs to ask is, what are you feeling? Can you let go of this? And will you let go of this?
Yeah.
These are 3 questions. So you invite them, and then, because for example, I came across this one person, I was teaching that person releasing. So the second conversation, we're taking them down to how to practice releasing. We said, okay, can you bring the feeling up? Can you define the feeling? He said, yes. I said, okay. Can you let go of this feeling? So let's just say you say, I'm feeling very angry. I said, okay, bring the anger up in 1 point. So, let's just say you bring the anger up into this marker. You transfer all the anger over here. It's in the marker. So jitni bhi chirchirahat, at least the body is clean and it's here. And you say, okay, can you let go of this? And the guy said, yes. I said, will you let go of it? Took some time, said, yes. I said, when? He took some time. He said, after 2 weeks. I said, beta, you can let go of this. You will let go. What do you want to hold on this for 2 weeks, for another 2 weeks? Yeah. Some people just like to like to be in that state. That is a choice. Now, if let's say somebody says that's a choice, 2 weeks, मैं तो उसे 2 साल रख लो, मेरी फीस दे दो, मेरा काम हो गया. But I have given you the solution. Yeah. You still want to hold on to a burden unnecessarily for 2 weeks. Why do you want to hold on for 2 weeks? Because you're discovering if you can let go, you let go now. That's the kind of releasing basically. Yeah, some people say it's connected to NLP. They are all connected. And I don't do programs specifically. I don't do training on that. I use this for my personal development. I could help them occasionally with people on a one-on-one level. I don't do releasing training programs. I don't teach NLP. But then technically everything that we're doing to make people effective is NLP, isn't it? Yeah. Your rapport building is NLP. Networking is NLP. Successful negotiations is NLP. Right. They're all connected. Right. So even the smartest of people, I disagree with NLP. Dude, that is also NLP. Somebody just fed into you and you're just programmed to hate it. Yeah. Let alone dislike. So yeah, this entire part is
off limits.
It's your choice.
I would love to keep it.
How much people would understand?
This,
as long as people reflect.
Yeah, no,
and you don't have to agree with me,
please. Of course. Like it's good to see the guest being candid as well. That's kind of also what I want. Just feel comfortable, speak your mind, speak your heart out. It's a judgment-free zone.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah. I'm not some morning show host on PTV or Sama, but
You've taken names as well.
it's okay.
Okay.
PTV won't see this. I'm not that big. If I am, if you do see this, behind the grind. Last question for you. I don't want to take up too much of your time. If you could go back in time and you could meet your younger self, what would you say to him?
Great going, dude. You're on the right path.
Yeah.
What? Okay.
No, that could be the answer.
Yeah,
I'm not
that is
looking for
the
something profound.
No,
or
that is
anything,
the
yeah.
answer because I said I've always enjoyed life, every moment. So have I taken right decisions every time? No.
Mm-hmm.
Am I always correct? No. Are there mistakes I've done? I said, damn, what did I do?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Do I want to fix them? No. Because I made the most of whatever was there at that point. And it's very easy to go back in time and say, this was wrong. They shouldn't have done this. But then I wouldn't have been here.
Hmm.
I may have taken up a fight with somebody against me. I may have worked different places. I may have had friendships. I may have watched movies. I may have bunked school.
Hmm.
I may have spent so much time doing accounting and suddenly do marketing and then HR. I think that's enriched me. This is who I am. So no, I don't want to change anything. I think it's just perfect. If anything, I would have actually said, speed up, dude. Go a little bit more faster.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe 3 years back, I would have reached this place, would have been nice. But then I didn't expect the COVID to happen. So then it's good, yeah. So that I think I've adjusted.
Did you, off topic though, but do you think you got a break during the lockdown and because of COVID? Were you able to pause for a bit?
I think my desire to come up with solutions went up further. I was not. It's a challenge because the business, everything shut down, and everything which is my specialty almost shut down. It was challenging financially, but I think even today afternoon I was just telling my team, I think it's so cool because even during COVID when we were struggling for the cash liquidity became a little challenge, and I said it's so cool because we were still laughing and smiling and being happy. We knew we'll come out of it. And I think that this is the best part is, and that is why I think I became so effective at the work that I do. I'm so effective because deep down I just can't understand, can't happen, will not happen, what if it fails. There are no doubts because as long as we're living, things have to work. A lot of people, the world will come to an end. The fact that every day children are born is proof that the world will continue.
Yeah.
What do you think? God is so... Okay, the Pakistan have to be careful. Do you think God is not kind enough and compassionate that he'll have a baby born today to die after two days? So many babies born, 1 or 2, okay, God forbid, anything can happen. But the fact that the world is moving on, we are progressing, is proof that the world will go on. So why be disappointed? The challenging times come and go, but I think it was very useful. It helped me come up with a lot of creative ideas. It helped me. I think the most interesting thing that happened, because outside Pakistan, I was known more as a consultant than a trainer. This perception took time in Pakistan, was taking time in Pakistan, but because of COVID, the assignments that I really wanted to do, even the ones that I would do outside Pakistan, started happening in Pakistan as well. So consulting work started off became more effective.
Okay. Interesting.
And plus, even I started staying here most of the time. Otherwise, in 2019, I almost applied for a non-resident Pakistani.
Really?
I wasn't here. Yeah, I was here for more than half the year. I wasn't in town.
Wow.
So
cool.
So that allows me to bring a lot of best practices in.
Yeah.
Working with people, amazing people who are good, selective, and working with them. And also helping people understand who don't do it, listen, you need to do it. And the best part is not about desi companies and state companies and MNCs. You could have great, brilliant local companies as well. And you could have some very painful MNCs. There are some exciting startups. I mean, yours is a startup, if you're okay with it, I call it a startup.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of other people as well. Great startups. Only thing is they're still too few. That is why the problem is not that we've got a lot of problems. The opportunity is because there are so few, others have an opportunity, but they need to bring in the talent. They need to focus on making the business. They need to develop their own skills. Organizations need to look at interventions of an outsider as an opportunity to enrich their performance as opposed to somebody coming and doing things.
Yeah.
Don't ask an outsider to come and do a motivational talk for you because that is technically according to the books. I'm not saying according to books. The manager's job is to motivate their people. Why are you hiring an outsider to come and motivate their people? Who the best part is cannot even motivate people to stay back half an hour extra after the training program. कि आधा घंटा रुक जाना है, खत्म हो गया, जाना है घर, जाना है फलाना, काहे का मोटिवेशन है, दूसरे दिन खुशी खुशी आएंगे तब तक.
चलो ठीक है. And on that note, thank you so much for coming on. This was great. Lots of fun.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
As long as I can come back again. And those of you who are listening, please, the intention was to enjoy, reflect. If it connects with you, it resonated with you, I'm glad, I'm delighted we're speaking the same language. If you feel that this was too harsh and I was completely wrong, wake up.
See you in the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.